name is Max James, and as always, I am one half of the Two-Ton Nerds, and tonight is night 26 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project presented by the Two-Ton Nerds, and the theme for this week has been double features, and has, in the past, for the double features, I like to keep something kind of in common between the two movies, and tonight the commonality is vampire/vampirism, and first up is my favorite vampire movie of all time. It's 30 Days of Night. I really do love this movie, and as well as I Am Legend. So, I have a lot of movie to watch, so I'm going to get right into watching these, and I'll be right back, as always, in a few seconds to tell you what you need to know about these movies. Last night I watched 30 Days of Night, and as well as I Am Legend, and I have a few categories to get through and to tell you what you need to know about these movies. And first up was the plot. The plot of 30 Days of Night is a small Alaskan town who's preparing for the month-long stretch of night, and the first part of the movie, they're all just kind of gearing up, preparing, people leaving, boarding up the houses, but there's a few things going on that isn't quite should be going on. Sled dogs are being killed, helicopters are being dismantled, and people are being killed, and it's up to the sheriff to kind of figure this out, and it doesn't quite work out because a stranger kind of rolls in. He's the one who did all this, and because it's still daylight out, he's preparing for what's eventually coming is the vampires, and it's just really great. And the plot for the I Am Legend is essentially Neville. He is a scientist who has cured the cure for cancer, but it mutated and caused mutated all the patients into like vampirism. That's why I'm kind of they're not really vampires, so but they are very hostile, and they are scared of light, and or skin. The light burns their skin, and they do hunt in packs a little bit. So it's just really great. So anyways, Neville lives in this abandoned New York City, and he stayed behind to try to find the cure for what he has caused, and it's just really great because he has his little companion, his dog, and that was one of the best scenes in the movie with him and his dog, and it's a very powerful movie about vampires. So, two is you got your characters, and you for 30 Days a Night, you got Josh Hartnett and Melissa George. They play the couple of them. They don't play a couple. They play like they were broken up, and they're kind of like throughout the movie they're starting to like care for each other, and it's just really great because you got this little love story kind of going along with what's terribly going on in the movie. Then you got I Am Legend. You got Neville. He's played by Will Smith, and it's just really great as well because he actually feels like he's all alone with his dog, and it just kind of like he is trying to find the cure for what he did, and it just really works really well. 3 is the special effects and makeup. Both movies are really heavy on special effect on CGI. I think I Am Legend's more heavy on special effects on CGI, but what 30 Days a Night does really well is blends practical with CGI. Especially, there's a scene where this dude gets his head cut off, and you can tell his head is real, but the chops are dismantling his head, and that's the CGI part, and it just looks so well blended. It just looks really amazing. Number 4 is the vampires. You got the vampires in this movie are very similar for 30 Days a Night and I Am Legend. They're both very animalistic. The vampires in 30 Days a Night, they can talk to each other and communicate, but if you just boil it all down, they are just animals. They have very sharp teeth. They're very fat. They're kind of very more stealthy. The way they walk and the way they kind of hunt, they're just really cool, and they're nice. They're a nice, fresh take on the vampires. And then the vampirism of the I Am Legend. they're heavy CGI. They are like 100% CGI in this movie. It doesn't really works really well because the way they breathe and the way they move, they actually it does look kind of realistic in ways, but you can always tell that they are CGI, but it doesn't take away from it at all. So, and number 5 is the ending. The endings of this movie are very similar as well, because you got these two strong male leads, Josh Hartnett for 30 Days a Night and Will Smith for I Am Legend, and they both have very similar qualities because they both risk their lives to save the survivors of the group or of the city. It's just kind of like, oh, these two characters are like, these are the people that you would need in your team when a zombie apocalypse or something like this happens. So this is they just have really admirable qualities of trying to survive or keep their group alive. So that's the end. Pretty much the ending is just them kind of sacrificing what they need to be sacrificed to survive, and you'll understand once you watch the movies. And and the last thing is my classification scale. The classifications are 1 through 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. 1 is a run-of-the-mill horror movie. 2 is best watched for the group. 3 is a good horror movie, just doesn't offer anything new to the horror genre. And 4, it helps move the horror genre forward. And 5 being a horror classic. And 30 Days a Night is a 4. It helps move the horror genre forward, because with the vampire genre just being so bogged down with vampires that are good looking, or you got the Twilight series, and it's just kind of like, it's so bogged down with these good looking and just kind of like these very classical vampires, like they're like, oh, I will suck your blood and stuff like that. You need to show the more animalistic side of vampires, and what this movie does so well. So then it just kind of like, this movie is so good because you got the vampires help move the new version of the vampires, kind of push it forward. Then you got a good story. Then you got the characters. Then you got the special effects, and it just kind of all that wrapped up just helps move the horror genre forward. Then you got I Am Legend. It's a 3.5. Even I know it's not horror. I Am Legend is not quite a horror movie, but it is very horrific in some sense. Like, they are trying to find a cure for cancer nowadays, and what happens if it did mutate and did cause all this? And I would like to know that someone actually stayed behind and tried to did this, and it does help kind of move the horror genre forward a little bit, but it's not technically a horror movie to my sense. So it's a 3. It's a good horror movie because of what the movie's about. Because it's like, what if the cure for cancer did kind of mutate, and then what didn't quite push the whatever give it that extra 0.5 is just because some of the elements in this movie has been done before, because you got the Omega Man and stuff like that, and you've seen it before in some ways or another, so it's not quite a 4, but it's a strong 3.5. So that's really all I gotta say about these movies. I love these movies, hands down. I really do. I could watch these any day of the week, like I said. So, my name is Max James, and as always, I'm one half of the 2 Ton Nerds, and I'm going to go geek out.